yours. So the first name of yours, suppose my name is Rahul. I'll write first name as Rahul, next name as Pandey. That is first name and last name. If you have multiple names, like I can see somebody has name of Roshan Kumar Prasad. So he will be writing his name as complete Roshan Kumar and Prasad. Complete name over here. Okay. So the first line will be at the top of your resume. You will be writing your name as whatever the name you have given by your parents. Now, सुशांत सो के देखने की जरूरत नहीं है ये सेशन. बिस्तर में मस्त लेट के आप लोग देख रहे हो. इनफैक्ट यू कैन बिल्ड योर रेज्यूमे एट द सेम टाइम. Okay. At the bottom of this, you'll put your location, your current location, where I located. So I think every one of you, as you are studying in Raigad, so you can put your location as Raigad, then your phone number, your email address. Your email address should be with your name. It shouldn't be like that 1 2 3 3 4 1 resume 1 my name is this. No, make sure your email address consists of your first name and your last name so that you are identifiable by the potential employers. I think everybody has created his or her LinkedIn address. So put your LinkedIn URL over here. This is the place where you should put your LinkedIn or you can put at the bottom at this line. Here you can create a line. You can put the LinkedIn ID of yours, pasting the URL of it. Okay. Now, coming to the major part, that is profile, or either you can say it as a summary of your journey. Okay, the summary will be consisting of three parts. First, you can see here word is mentioned, that is called personality attributes. Okay, another is personal competencies. So what is difference between personality attributes and personal competencies? Personality attributes are those attributes which is by birth inside you and which you have learned during your previous life. What is inside you? While the personal competencies are those skills which you learn over the time, right? So let me share you the examples of personality attributes and personal competencies, right? So let me share this again to you so that it would be easier for you. Here are the positive personality attributes. Okay. So you can use in the first sentence as honest, responsible, confident. Here you can see positive personality attributes consist of honesty, responsibility, confident, empathetic, optimistic, adaptable, disciplined, respectful, creative, and resilient. Okay, these are the 10 positive personality attributes. Apart from it, some neutral attributes are introvert, but I would suggest you shouldn't mention it. Extrovert, you should also not mention it. Remove this too. But you can keep cautious, assertive, and curious. These 3 points you can keep. So at least have 2 out of this. So we have discussed 13 that is words. Out of this, you can keep at least 2 to 3 inside your resume. Okay. Let's go to resume again. Here we have resume with us. So first part is summary part. So personality attributes we see. So an enthusiastic and result driven. 2 personality attributes have been mentioned here. Enthusiastic and result driven. These are the 2 personality attributes of mine. Computer science engineer, you can mention mechanical engineer or MBA graduate or BBA graduate, whatever you are doing currently, you can mention over here. With expertise in technical competencies. Technical competencies means here you can see technical competencies. Why it's mentioned technical competencies? Suppose you're a mechanical engineer, you can mention you have you have good knowledge over heat mass transfer, thermodynamics. If you're a computer science engineer, you can mention that you have good knowledge over operating system, C++, whatsoever technical competencies you have. For MBA and BBA graduates, they can mention their subjects. Okay. Along with personal competencies. Personal competencies, we will see the list of personal competencies skills. Again, let me share you my sheet which I'm having for personal competencies. So here are certain personal competencies you can note it down. Like you have the skill of time management, self-discipline, adaptability, stress management, goal settings, good communication skill, empathy, teamwork. Okay. Here another conflicts are there. Conflict resolution, emotional intelligence, critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, creativity, attention to details. Professionalism, you can put responsible, integrity, initiative, dependability. So you can use out of these 20 skills, 2 or 3 inside from your side, and you can create the summary of yours. So summary you can create, 3 part will be there. One part will be personality attribute, second part will be technical competencies, third part will be your personal competencies. Okay. So this 3 part you have to mention in your summary. Now let's go to the resume again. Okay. Then the second part comes is the education. So education you will mention in a chronological order. Here you see university is mentioned. Then there is a gap and location of the university. Whatever course you are doing, if suppose you are doing Bachelor's of Commerce, mention BCom, or Bachelor's of Commerce. If you are doing engineering, mention Bachelor's of Engineering. In which year it's going to be completed, right? Expected in 2020, whatsoever is the number, you can mention 2026, 27, whatsoever you are going to complete, 27. Whenever you are going to complete, you can mention over here. Okay. And you can mention the cumulative GPA. Whatsoever is the till date cumulative GPA of yours, you can mention it here. Many of you might be having relevant coursework like data analysis, software engineering, IT people can have, computer science engineer can have these things. Others, if you don't have, you can just remove this. Okay. Your education should be in a chronological order. Chronological order means currently whatever you are doing, it should be at the top, then your schooling, and then again your 10th. So if you are doing bachelor's degree, mention bachelor's first. If you have done diploma, then mention diploma. Then your class 12th, bachelor's, then 12th, then 10th. If you have done master's degree, so your MBA or MSc, whatever you are doing, or MTech, you can mention first. Below that, you will be mentioning your bachelor's. Below that, you will be mentioning your class 12th and then 10th. These are the 4 part you have to mention if you are doing your master's degree. If you are doing bachelor's degree, then these 3 part will be there. So bachelor's, 12th and 10th. In 12th, you will mention completed higher secondary school, higher secondary education from XYZ school from the CBSE board. Completed my education of higher secondary from this board with this much percentage, whatsoever percentage you are having. Similar with the high school case, completed high school from this school with this board with particular percentage, whatsoever percentage you are having. This is needed because many of the companies these days, they want their students to be above 60%, 70% throughout the career. So this could be only checked if you have mentioned your marks in your resume by 10th, 12th and your bachelor's. Suppose in 10th you have got, many of you might be knowing that this year the criteria earlier for JSP interview was 80%. But after some time they changed it and it came to 65%. So criteria is 80% for JSP right now, and it could be also decreased depending upon the demand and supply. So whatever you are mentioning, please make sure it's correct and it could be verifiable at the time of joining. Many of you are mentioning your fake marks in your resume, so don't do that because it will hamper your joining. They will directly terminate you. Okay. After this part, you can see there is one topic here, that is certification. Suppose you are doing CCNA certification, like this is a Cisco certified network architect position, certification is there. If you are doing Salesforce certifications, whatever certification you are doing, Power BI, any certification you have done, you can mention it here. But the certification whatsoever you are mentioning, it should be approved by proper channel or proper authorities. Okay, so the next part comes till this point. If you have any doubt, do you have any doubts? Anyone having
No, sir.
doubts till summary education? After that, after certification of yours, okay, after this you will be having technical skills. Wait a minute, somebody is joining and he's facing some issues. Let me forward this. Give me 2 minutes. I'm just sharing somebody's number so that he could also join. Okay, anyways. So third part is technical skills. Technical skills are those skills which you have learned during your 8 semesters. Suppose if you have learned C++, you can mention over here C++. If you have done computer skills, MS Word or MS Office, whatsoever you have done during your 8 semester, you can mention over here. If MBA students have done Power BI, you can mention over here. That are your technical skills. Okay. Personal skills you have already mentioned. If you want to add few more skills, you can mention as your personality skills here also by sub points. So personal skills can be mentioned by mentioning a sub point over here and personal skill like this, and you can add few personal skills of yours which you have left during the above part of this summary making. Okay, again, after this we will be covering your internship experiences. Okay, so many of you are doing your internship, almost all of you are doing your internship. So here we will be mentioning the internship will be the title. Okay, and during the internship portion you will mention the organization name first of your, suppose you are doing organization is JSP, so mention JSP. Okay, after that, give me 2 minutes. Some people are joining and they are unable to join, so I'll have to share Chandrakant's number. Okay, so we will be going to another part, that is organizations. So if you have done your internship from JSP, mention JSP here. If you have done from any other institute whatsoever, suppose you have done from TCS, suppose you have done from Wipro, mention the organization name. What was the duration? It was 1 month or was it 3 month? Mention over here. Okay, then your training coverage part. This is the most important part where most of you fail to define your training coverage. You just mention what you have done there. Simply you go there, you mention that I went there and I was in this part of department, in this department, XYZ department, whatever department you just mentioned, worked in uh, melting plant or rail mill, pallet mill, whatever you have done, you mentioned just over there. I have worked in finance. No, you don't have to do that thing. That it will consist of 4 points. First point will cover in which department you are working. So first part will be which department. Okay. Second point will cover what was the roles and responsibilities given to you. So next 2 points you will be covering roles and responsibilities. Okay. So these 2 points will be roles and responsibilities. What was the roles given to you? Third point after this will be, sorry, the fourth point will be what you have learned from this particular place. So your learnings, what you have learned from particular organization, you have to mention this. Suppose you have done 2 more internship, similar internship. So mention the similar kind of stuff below this and mention the organization name, duration, what was the training coverage, and mention in which department you work, then what were your roles and responsibilities, and what you learned from there. So complete in 4 to 5 points. It will show that you have exactly learned something from that place. You have taken certain responsibilities and then you have done explicit internship at the organization. Okay. After this, we will be having the academic projects. I hope everyone has completed their academic projects. If you haven't done, I think you will be doing that in your final years. So many of you have completed, if I talk about engineering, they must have completed their academic projects, a small project during their 4th semester. Okay. So mention what was the title of the project. What title you have done. If I am creating an e-bike, I'll have to mention I created a e-bike. Okay. If I'm completing a software, if I'm using Revit or any software XYZ I'm using, I'll mentioning that I have created a project on Revit. I have done on Power BI. So whatever title I was having, so I have whatever I have created in Power BI, Revit, XYZ software, I'll mentioning the title as well as created XYZ using XYZ ABC software. Now you'll tell what was the working in the description section, what was the working of your project. Okay. After this in description, after giving the working, you will also mention what you did during the project, what you did in the project. It's, I think somebody has asked certain question. Okay. Till now, who had not got an internship, what would they will do who is final year just started? So if you haven't done any internship, one student Ishan has asked, till now he hasn't done any internship. So I don't think this is a possibility that you haven't done any internship. There are many people, I think it's compulsory on final year to have the internship. Okay. Let me check. Somebody is joining and they are unable to join. Give me a minute, guys. I don't know what's going on here. Sorry, guys. I think somebody is joining and they are unable to join. Let me talk to entity. So, so So we were on the we had taken one question. One of our students was asking, what will I have to do if I haven't done internship? So in that case, just remove this portion. Internship portion you can remove and you can directly come down to your academic projects. Okay. Directly remove the academic internship part and you can add directly your academic projects. Okay. So mention the title, the description, the actual working of your project, and then what was your role, whether you tested the bike, whether you were part of coding, whether you were part of analysis, what you were doing. Suppose you are creating a bike, suppose you are creating a car, so in which module of car you have worked. If you have worked in the steering committee, or if you have worked in designing part, whether you have worked in XYZ, whatsoever you have done, you can mention over here. Okay. So three things is important. What was the title? What was the working of that particular project? And what you did inside that. And the last part is what were the technologies you were using while working on the project. Suppose if you worked Excel, so Excel can be also mentioned here. MS Excel I had used Word, I had used PowerPoint. Okay. Suppose if you're using any designing tool, Revit, you can use Revit here. You can use Python, Perl, Java. So these were the technologies you used during your projects. Let's go to another part, that is activities and achievement. Here we have three things. If you see, first is secured. Secured means you have to mention where you have participated and won the competition. For example, I participated, secured first prize in quiz competition, secured first prize in dance competition. So secured, you will use the word when you have won certain competition. So winning the competition, suppose you are winning the competition, here you will mention secured will be the word used while winning a competition. Okay. This is for competition you have won. So use the word secured. That will be in the top. So whatsoever a competition you have participated, mention that. Secured first prize, second prize, third prize, whatever you have done. Now the second part will be participated. Participated will be that in which you participated in the event but you didn't win. Suppose you participated in Yuva Sadan. You took the initiative and you participated in the event. Mention that. Suppose I participated in any robo war competition but I didn't won it. Suppose robo war was the Yuva Sadan, dance, XYZ, whatsoever I have participated, but I didn't want that competition. I'll be mentioning that thing over here in the participation section. Third is attended. Suppose you attended webinar. Suppose you attended seminar. You have presented, you have done paper presentation. So third point will be that part. So paper presentation, webinar, seminar, training, any training you have attended, it will not come in the section of certification. Although you are getting certificate after your training, but you will not mention unless and until it is from the authorized center. Suppose if I talk about CCNA, it has been authorized through Cisco. Cisco only gives this certification. If I talk about WebSphere, WebSphere is given by IBM, not by XYZ. So if you are certifying yourself, suppose you are doing Salesforce certification, that should be from Salesforce company only. You are doing Revit, it should be from Autodesk. Okay. So any certification you are doing, it should be from the authorized place. Although you can mention Coursera or something like that if you are doing online certification, but if you have attended certain training in your university or XYZ places, if you have went to certain places in other colleges, you can just mention attended. Now comes the additional information. The last part of your resume will be the additional information. First thing is, what are the languages you know? Suppose if you have learned French or if you learn German, so you can mention here fluent in French and English. And conversational proficiency, suppose you both read and write, then you'll mention fluency over English, Hindi, French, Japanese, whatsoever language. Conversational proficiency, there are many languages which we know but we cannot write it down, so you will mention conversational proficiency in Italian and German, whatsoever languages too. You will remove this part, certification and training will be not here. Okay, now your professional references, mention two professional references. Professional references will be from your university. Mention two of your professor's name and their contact number as well as the email address. So name, from which organization, OPJU, cell number of your professor and his email address. Okay, next will be your date of birth, your father's name, your permanent address, your hobbies and interest. Let's go to this point, hobbies and interest. Hobbies and interest are two different things. Hobbies means those activities which you do on regular basis. Suppose I walk, I go to walk, that is my hobby because I walk on regular basis. I go to gym, that is my regular. I read books, that is my hobby. But interests are those part of our life which we do, but sometimes, suppose I listen songs, but I do not listen to songs regularly. I visit places, I go here and there, but is it possible for me to go every day? No, it won't be possible. So every day we will be mentioning whatsoever you are doing as an interest, mention it as an interest which you do occasionally, that is your interest, which you do regularly, that is your hobby. Okay, after this particular entire resume is prepared, what you have to do, we have to format our resume. Okay, if you see, every word over here is in particular font style, that is Graymond. Okay, I will suggest you make sure your resume is in a single font, that is either Arial, Calibri, Verdana. The sizes of yours name should be larger, one size larger than, one or two size larger than your regular font size. Regular sentences, suppose you have this profile section, if you see the sentence mentioned over here is of size 10.5, but similarly if you see here the first name and the last name has the size of 60. Okay, so whatsoever you are writing, there should be two fonts, one will be using small and another will be large size. Okay, here the headings are mentioned in a middle size. So this one is, if you see, this are in 10 size, this you will see it in 11, and the first name and the last name is in 16 size. So make sure you are maintaining the sizes. Second thing, if you see, my sheet is justified from both left side as well as the right side. So left, your entire justification should be there. Your left side should be straight as well as your right side should be also straight. Straightness should be maintained in your sentences as well as in your resume. Apart from it, if you feel any problem while having your resume, for preparing your resume, if you feel and if you face any problem, you can directly connect to me. You can share the resume for the checking purpose. I'll be checking it down. Although I have asked each one of you to share your resume through Google Sheet. So directly share it there. And then we can go ahead and discuss one by one in the upcoming sessions or in the upcoming classes. Okay, let's me take certain questions. Sir, only 100% in June media, so I think that could be the reason. Yeah, that is the reason. I think that is what, where we can use add activities like NSS volunteer, university event coordinators. You can use those things in the bottom side. Here you see activities and achievements. So here all you can add one more point about acted as a coordinator, as a convener, worked as a convener for college events and festivals. Okay, mention the fourth point, secured, participated. If you are co-convener, convener, or activity head, you can mention over this place. Okay, this is the place where you can mention as a fourth point. Okay, I think that is answered. Are you satisfied? Let me check another question. Somebody has asked one more question. Sir, I have only 60% in 12th but 75%, so I will not be able to sit in JSPL interview. Uh, that is not the case. It depends upon the demand and supply. Suppose they are asking for 60% throughout, so it will be easy for you to join. If they are not asking for 60%, here at this point, this year in this year drive, they were asking for 80% throughout. So I think that was not possible for many of us. So they reduced to 65%. So if similar case comes for 65% throughout, it would be difficult for you, Raj, to sit in the campus drive of JSP. If they are allowing 60%, then well and good. You can definitely go for JSPL drive. Okay. Anyone else having any questions? You can type it. You can just unmute yourself. Sir, is it necessary to sum up everything in single resume? No. It is not necessary for you to summarize your entire resume in one page, because I didn't had the content to mention over here. That is why it came in one page. You can mention 1 to 2 pages. Fresher resume can go up to 2 pages. Sir, will get one more chance for submitting resume. Yes, you can share that to me. I'll updating it. Sir, what to have the right training coverage? Please explain. Alfin, I didn't got your question. What to be have the right training coverage? Uh, in what section you're talking about,
Sir,
Alfin?
in training coverage, in internship
Hmm.
part of an internship in training coverage, what we have to write?
See, there are in training coverage part, you have to mention 3 things. One is in which department you worked. Second is what were the roles and responsibilities in 1 or 2 points, and what you learned from that place. Right? Training coverage comprises of these 4 points. In which department you work, what were your roles and responsibilities, and third is what you learned from there. Summarize that into 1 or 2 points. Okay. Parth sir, will we get another chance for submitting a new resume? Yes, you can share that to me. I'll be updating that into the databases. Okay. Can PG student also mention UG internship? It has any connection? Although I will not suggest that to you to do, but if it's connected to your current, suppose you are doing MBA. I hope Sushant has asked this question, so he might be doing MBA. That is why he is asking this question. So if you're doing MBA and if you have previously done BBA or BCom and the project you have done that is connected to your recent assignment, definitely you can add up. But if it's somebody was saying last year, one student came to me and she said, sir, earlier I was working as a computer operator. Can I mention that? So please do not ask such questions. If you are doing MBA, please don't mention that you have worked as a computer operator in your previous life. Okay. Hope I am clear. I have not received the internship, sir. Do I still need to mention that now in the internship section? Certification is not necessary. Whatever you have learned, that is to be reflected upon your resume. Certification, no one is going to ask you. Any other question, guys? Anything else? I think I have already shared this format to you. I'll be sharing few more resume to you if you need that. And please get your resume checked by me or by Soumitra sir or Vidushi ma'am, so that it would be easier for us to put your resume in front of the employer. To the email address also. If you have my cell phone number, you will be getting my number on the that is WhatsApp group. Okay, guys, no other questions. Hope if I think there was some technical glitch, only 100 people could have participated. So if you can share an information to your friends, we will be conducting again this session for those who haven't, those who were unable to join at this point of time. I think there is one more question from Dipesh Yadav. Said we have to mention 12th and 10th in education. Depending upon the company, you have to mention. So whenever a company is coming, if they are asking, if they are having criteria for 10th, 12th, so make sure that you are mentioning 10th and 12th. If they are not mentioning any criteria, you can remove your schooling part. Sir, as I have done an internship, then in the field of internship, I have written all the things which I have worked on. Is it correct? All the things means you have to summarize in 1, 2, or 3 points. Don't elaborate it much. Okay. So should we conclude this session? I think most of the points, most of the questions have been covered. Let me check one more question I have just received. Ansh, sir, can you share this PDF or resume? Yes, I'll be sharing all the things in the group. Those who are sharing the resume, I'll be sharing, I'll be checking all the resume after these sessions. Sir, what if I don't have many things to mention in the activities part? I think you can mention at least 1 or 2 things in your activities and achievement, whether I think you might have participated at least in 1 or 2 activities. I know you must have participated in dancing or singing XYZ. There are n number of things to be participated to take part in event. So you must have done something in your life. So definitely you can mention that. कुछ तो किया होगा जीवन में, कहीं तो कुछ ना कुछ तो किया ही होगा. So you can mention that part. Any other questions coming down, guys? You can unmute yourself and you can directly ask the question. Okay, so let's conclude this. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for giving your valuable time. I'll be sharing this format, and those who were unable to join will be having another sessions so that they could clearly clear their doubts and they can build a good resume. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.